Hello and welcome to Kieser Design. As you can see, we are in a bit of a different setting than usual. Carolyn, my goldsmith and trusted employee, is sitting next to me. Say hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Carolyn.
We thought that we try something else, a bit different than the usual videos. We recorded a day in the workshop live where a lot of stuff happened, and now we are sitting here watching the footage and comment on it. Let's see how it goes, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I already know that there is going to happen something really
something really funny.
Yeah, you think it's funny, and
No.
I think it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump right in. The first thing we did on that day was that I milled some casebacks for a new watch. I think it's kind of a spoiler, so close your eyes if you don't want to see the new caseback that we prepare. We came up with a new engraving for a new version of the Tragwerk T, and I think it was a lot of fun drawing a new artwork for the caseback.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with how the design turned out.
I have actually just finished two casebacks with a new engraving. Do you want to check them out? Yeah, okay, it was just a really short, spoiler. I think you can't see quite a lot.
I think you will see it in the end when
Yeah.
when we show it again.
When the thing happened.
Yeah.
What we're actually doing is we're making an adapter plate for the 6-jaw chuck that I bought. We need to manufacture an adapter plate to fit this 6-jaw chuck on the machine. I will use the same adapter plate actually that I use for the two machine vices, but I need to drill and tap 4 more holes that fit those holes here on the ring, so that I can put screws through them and hold the chuck on the machine. I found this part on one of my treasure hunts on eBay, or in small ads or Craigslist or whatever you would call it somewhere else. And yeah, I'm always on these platforms looking for antique watchmaking tools. It's a wonderful place where you can find all kinds of tools you didn't even know that they exist, but they are maybe 100 years old but still in beautiful condition and perfectly fine to use in a watchmaking shop. Yeah, so I found this chuck. I was really eager to try it out, but I needed to find a way to put it on the machine, and that's what we're doing. We're putting 4 new holes into this chunk of metal. Then place this one here. The reason why I untightened the screws and I took the adapter plate off, put some parallels underneath it, is just because I needed to drill all the way through the plate, and I didn't want to damage the vacuum table that's underneath it. So I put parallels under it. I have some clearance for the drill and for the tap, and so I can work on this plate, on the fixture, without damaging any other tools. The adapter plate itself is tool making steel, yes. It makes sense to make those fixtures that you want to use over and over again because they are really, really important to you, out of tool steel instead of only aluminum, because it's just a little more robust. And my intention actually was to use the 6-jaw chuck on this adapter plate for an indefinite amount of time in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you put a lot of effort in preparing everything, and it was meant to be last forever.
Yeah.
Kind of sad because we talked about it for, I don't know, days and weeks, and then you were so happy that the day finally came to use that thing, and
I was excited.
yeah. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chuck number 5. Don't verwechsel it with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris jokes, were they a thing in your...
In 2012. This beeping drives me crazy. I'm sitting there working and behind me it's always beep, beep.
It's music to my ears because I just love the Renishaw measuring system. Again, it makes work so much easier to find the center of holes and to find the center and edges of any parts you put on the machine. And when I hear the beep, it's just one of the last steps before machining actually starts. I love it.
Yeah.
But I can see that it's annoying to you, and it's a really bone-shaking noise.
And it's so loud. And it's in my back, so I can't see what the machine is doing. And then, someone randomly, it just beep.
You know what kind of sound I always hear from your side of the workshop?
Yeah.
It feels like there is someone living in the ceiling.
Okay.
The spindle load goes up whenever the tool and the tap engage with the workpiece. Tapping means to put a thread into a piece of metal to be able to put a screw in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you need a special tap drill for it if you want to thread in a hole. And it's delicate because the tools tend to break very easily if you're not careful, if you don't have the right feeds and speeds. It can go terribly wrong, and tapping by nature is one of the processes that comes very late in the machining process. It's one of the last things you do. So you've spent hours and hours preparing stuff, measuring stuff, machining stuff. Then if the tap breaks, everything is just for the bin. Tapping by hand is even more delicate. I think
it's the worst.
You can tell.
Yes. The tools break so easily because they are so thin and sensitive. And if you do it by hand, you have always to make sure to go straight in. And if you only tilt it in a super small angle or so, it just breaks.
Yeah.
And then you have the tool in your workpiece, and then you have to find a way to get it out there, and Yeah, it's really, really bad. And you do it as well, always in the end. And when you use precious metals, you can just like put it in
an acid?
Acid.
Ah, okay.
Overnight, and then you would have to wait a whole work day, basically to
dissolve it.
Yeah.
Because you probably used high-speed steel tools. Yeah. I don't know if that works with carbide tooling.
Yeah.
But so you basically made use of the fact that the precious metal doesn't react to acids in that way. Mm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Titanium is really something else with those tools.
It just needs to do that for the 3 remaining holes. Program the whole thing a bit more aggressively to make it faster, but I do it so rarely, tapping in tool making steel, so that I really don't want to push it too hard. And the tool retracts from time to time so that the chips break and they can be removed from the hole. Our microphone is still on, right?
Yeah.
Up to that point, everything was perfectly fine. The positioning went well. I turned over the jaws of the chuck because I wanted to work on a piece that I needed to clamp down from the outside, and I was very pleased so far.
Yeah. Do you feel bad now, rewatching it and knowing what happened in the end with the tool? I think it's always, when something happens, it's always kind of weird to see how energetic and joyful
how everything was okay in the beginning.
And then it ended so badly.
No, because actually I think I would not have done it any differently up to this point. I mean, I still feel it was well planned.
Yeah.
It was a good idea, basically.
Yeah, okay.
The concept was there, and yeah. But it was just an accident.
All right.
It was the first time we put a real part onto the machine.
Yeah, but it's often like this. You prepare the machine for hours and then...
I mean, machining, if you just leave out the whole design process and the cut and come process, is, I would say, 1/3 of measuring and 1/3 of making fixtures or clamping stuff. It's only 1/3 actual machining. I don't know if it's even 1/3. I mean, the tools are made for high-speed machining, and I'm not using very aggressive feeds and speeds because precision is more of an issue with watches, so I'm not pushing the limits. But the actual chip making is only a fraction of the whole process.
Yeah.
The part was sitting perfectly flat in the chuck, and that's what was really important to me, because you just need to make sure that the case back has the same thickness all the way around, and that was really nice. Actually, the chuck seems to be a chuck that is normally used in measuring machines, and that's part of the problem with this chuck. And this is the moment when things went terribly wrong. And now rewatching that, I immediately see where I made an error.
Yeah. Let us know in the comment
if you already spotted where the error is.
If you see it as well, yes. But we will tell you later on, I guess. Won't we?
We will. At this moment I was so excited to put the fixture to the test.
Yeah.
Finally used the 6-jaw chuck that was sitting on my desk for weeks, and I was so excited. I thought this is going to open up a whole new era of machining for us, because it would have given us a lot of flexibility, where you can fit a lot of different diameters on it without having to change the whole fixture. Yeah.
Ja. Sowas nicht.
Das ist ein Maß an Negativität, das ich hier nicht haben will. I was starting to run the program, and then this little sarcastic person sitting next to me.
Now.
You remember what you said to me?
I don't know. I think I said something like, "Imagine if you would mill the." I don't know what I did.
Is that something?
Something like.
Imagine just milling right into the chuck.
Into the chuck, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I always say stuff like that.
Yeah. Because you're evil.
No, because I like to say things so they don't happen.
Okay.
And usually they just.
That's how it works.
Happen.
That's how it works with self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Yeah, and there we go.
Yeah. What you can see here is the precious engraving we did.
Yeah, that's the nice part of the picture.
It's really nice. You can see what we did there, but you can also see what we did there as well.
We milled away not only all the outer parts of the caseback, which are not there anymore. I also milled into 5 of the 6 jaws of the 6-jaw chuck. And the error was not in the program, actually. The error was that I chose or measured in the wrong 0 for the z-axis. You have to let the machine know the exact distance to the 0 that you set in the program. And as you can see, the chuck and the jaws, they have multiple different steps, and you can rest the parts on various different levels within the chuck. And I just used the wrong surface to set the 0 for the z-axis, or I used a level on a jaw that was just a little bit too low, 1 step too low. That meant we were just milling too far into the part, not only into the part but also into the chuck. I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was really devastated.
Yeah, it was a really sad day.
And Carolyn, all she said was, "What did you do? What did you do? What happened? What did you do?"
Yeah. We only found out later what you actually did. In that moment, we were really shocked.
For 2 or 3 minutes, I couldn't imagine what the mistake was.
Yeah.
But then, in moments like this, it's just very important to stay calm, which we did. After panicking for 2 or 3 minutes, we stayed calm. We thought, what can we do?
It was actually a bit creepy how calm we became. It was so silent in here.
Yeah. We had to mill the jaws down to the level that we already damaged it to. I think it's probably cast iron. It's already not very nice to machine cast iron. And then we had to find a good milling pattern and a good way of machining the jaws, which is not that easy, because what you really don't want to do is damage the sides of the jaws, because then you would lose the concentricity of the chuck, and that would be an even worse nightmare if the chuck wasn't concentric anymore. But we sat down, I wrote a new program to mill the jaws. Yeah, and then we just gradually remove the material to get an even surface of the jaws again. No one will ever see that.
So that's what we produced that day. A super sick coin we have now.
Yeah, you can't use it as a watch case back anymore, but super sick. The repair of the 6-jaw chuck went astonishingly well. As you can see, we left the part in there because the jaws, they have a little bit of play if they are not under pressure. So we still held on to the part, and then we machined away the excess material to arrive at the flat surface again. We just milled it. We didn't do anything else to it. Deburred it, of course. And the flatness is quite good again. If we wanted to achieve an even better result of this repair, we would have to grind the surfaces, but that's probably not something we're going to do, because a moment like this, when a new tool doesn't work as intended, even if it's your own mistake, it gives you a little bit of time to reflect on, is it really the best way to do things? And we discovered some flaws in using this chuck as a milling machine chuck. The most important part is that it has only a very tiny surface in the middle where the whole chuck actually rests on the plate. This little surface area leads to a little flex, and it also leads to vibrations and chattering. And that's really something that we don't want to have when we machine titanium case parts. The surface must be really nice, and it doesn't work if it has vibrations just like that. And as you can see, we have an issue measuring the thickness of the parts when they're still in the chuck. And another major drawback or disadvantage of this chuck is that we can only fit 1 or max 2 of these chucks on the machine. And yeah, we are making very little amounts of parts per year, but having only 1 fixture for 1 part at the same time on the machine is a real drawback when it comes to efficiency.
But that's something we discovered the next day. So that day was a bit, it had a bit of a dramatic ending, I would say. I think we were like mood-wise, we were like on a neutral level when we left the workshop, but it was still a bit.
We were able to fix it.
Yeah.
And I usually want to fix mistakes like that right away. Because I want to get back to that neutral level again. Because if I just leave the shop and then I know that
it will haunt you.
The messed up 6-jaw chuck is still sitting there and waiting for me for the next day. It's going to be really, really annoying.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, we have now new ideas of the fixture of stuff, and I mean that's something.
Yeah, really, really cool result of the day is the engraving on the caseback, and you can see it features the dragonfly, it features honeycomb patterns. I think it has a very futuristic vibe to it, and it already gives a little hint to what we are already working on.
Yeah, or we're going to turn to this year, and
the Tragwerk T is going to get a really big upgrade. That was a day in the workshop life which didn't go as planned, but it was a lot of fun and we learned a lot of things. So if you want to see more videos of us working on watch parts and beautiful watches, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, watch our next videos, and as always, see you in the next one.